hurry up now.
Welcome to The Divide with Mike and Corey.
Also, they could hear our banter. Hopefully, our disagreements won't bring us all together.
Yeah, they can.
That's awesome.
For a change. Banter away. It's been a long time since we've bantered.
We like doing it. For like, I love when people ask me like, "Hey, do you know your mic was on?"
Yeah.
Like when we say ridiculous stuff.
Well, this is what was the Todd was the last show we did. We took a hiatus.
Right.
And what was the show we did before Todd?
You feel me? This is The Divide.
I know it's been a doc. Was it? Hey, welcome to The Divide with Mike and Corey. We're back. We got so crazy with the end of summer for no other reason other than just life. It's been what was the last not interview? I know we talked to Todd for a little bit. Before that, I thought we had a show between Doc and Todd. Doc and Todd. That'd be a good show.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's been forever since we're going to talk about different topics.
Yeah, no, there hasn't been a solo one for a while.
Was Bird on the last solo one? I don't even remember, dude.
I don't know. What I do know is we're 1 year old.
We are 1 year old. 1
Yeah.
years? 1 year?
1 year old. One. We're one.
We're one.
Yeah.
One. We're winning. We won. No, so special episode of Divide. We got the Facebook felon Germ is in the house producing.
What up?
Like I'm looking at him right now. Like he's physically here.
Let me pop on here real quick.
Yeah,
just to
pop
show
up,
people
man.
What's going on? Hey guys, hi.
There he
I'm here.
is.
Hi.
There
we
he is.
were trying to get the green screen going so it looked like he was home.
Yeah.
And then
I
like I dropped like a pen and he'd be like, "Oh, let me get that for you." It would have been great.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But no, man, it's good. He's up for this weekend actually. The whole network and some friends of the network. We're all going to the 9/11 game.
Yeah.
I can't wait for a few reasons. Obviously, Subway Series, 20th anniversary of 9/11. So a lot of special things with the game that's going to happen. Germ, an active firefighter, will be there with the rest of us to honor the first responders that gave their lives that day, but the first responders that were also there that were fortunate enough to make it through the event and make everybody's life a lot better than it would have been if they hadn't responded. So yeah, I'm excited.
You're being trolled, and we could pop it up here. Steve Waldman said, "Go Blue Jays."
See, this is why I hate talking to Steven Waldman.
No.
This is why every time he
He's our
asks a
guy.
question,
He's
I
our
purposely
guy.
tell you guys to not put it on the screen. But you're like, no, Steven's cool. I'm just kidding, Steven.
So
Why you
where
see?
does-
And what do you got to troll us for? I'm rooting for you. You're 4 games back. We're 1.5 ahead. But the only thing that sucks is if the standings stay where they are. And we talked about this a couple of days ago. Just like the NL and the West Coast, it's going to be 3 American League East teams in the playoffs, essentially.
We're gonna use our ball
Sucks.
money to go to playoff games regardless.
We are definitely going to. There's going to be a big shout out from our ball money. We're balling with our money.
9/11?
Yeah, I'm guessing he's talking about
Yes.
9/11 and the comment I didn't pop up there. But
Awesome. Steve, DM me. That's great. We'll have a beer together, brother.
Yeah, you're buying.
No. Also, we're gonna have tune in tomorrow night, Mets happy hour.
Oh yeah.
Anybody who comments or is a part of that and is going to the 9/11 game, Germ and I have a surprise for you.
yes, we do.
Hey, if you listen and you're going to any game we're going to, any function, the 9/11 game, let us know. Like we would like to meet you in a non-Selena type way, of course, but like we definitely want to, to see you guys in the flesh.
Listen,
That sounded weird.
We've been planning this event for what feels like 2 years.
Well,
Maybe
it has been the better part of
Yeah.
a year and some.
at least, right? But I can't tell you how many times in public I was on the phone with you,
Oh my God, dude.
Germ, my brother, and like I'm in Wawa or like insert like some store, and I'm on the phone and I'm like, I can't wait for 9/11. And everybody just looks at me.
I'm like, dude, you gotta stop saying
Yeah,
that. You
but-
gotta say
but
like
they're-
game afterwards or
It's just exciting because the world was turned upside down. We were kids. It was 20 years ago.
yeah, 15 years old.
14 years old. And the excitement and just having that, like, that game was amazing when Mike Piazza hit the home
The
run.
first game back.
Yes.
And
so look, like, and just being Mets Yankees, hats off to MLB for making sure that happened. And I'm just so proud to be there with all these guys that I talk sports with
Sports.
on a weekly basis.
Now, the weather looks great. It's going to be a really, really, really fun time. I'm super excited for it. I cannot wait. It's going to be a huge, huge game, meaningful game for both teams. So it's good to watch meaningful baseball, especially this late into the season, in early to mid-September. So I'm pumped for it. If it's one thing we can agree upon between Mets and Yankees, it's that we're not the most hated team in baseball.
No. Yeah.
By a long, well, I can't say by a long shot for the Yankees because I think we're number 2, but a list came out and the list was, what did Steven say? Mike will be early.
Yeah. He said I will be on the early line to get in line for the partial plan holders.
Oh, nice.
That's
awesome.
great.
Yeah, we'll definitely end up seeing him there. But there was a state-by-state breakdown that was just shared for the most hated teams in baseball. And believe it or not, the Yankees were on the list. They were number 2. But you would never guess. I mean, we didn't guess.
Now batting for the American League.
Number 2. Get it?
I get it now.
All the slow build up.
I thought it started number 2. I don't know your announcer.
You don't know Bobby. Now you're gonna get it, Bobby.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we would have never guessed. We tried guessing who number 1 would be. I thought it would be the Astros because any team that wins a World Series championship off of cheating, should be hated by almost everybody. And believe it or not, they're not.
Right.
The Astros were like number 4 on the list.
I instantly thought it was going to be
Or number 3.
Phillies. Like my brain went straight to Philadelphia.
Well, that's because in this area that we grew up in and that we still reside in, it's so easy to hate that disgusting city of Philadelphia.
I had an ear itch and I had to scratch it.
Is that what that was?
Yeah. And I shaved today with the Go Shaver and like my headset just went off.
I am actually selfless plug. I am super happy for the two of you bald men here. Your Go Shaver germ is only a couple months old, but Mike, you've had the Go Shaver for well over a year now.
Yeah,
because that was one of our first sponsors.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So and in fact, it still works. You use it every day. It's still super close, even though you're a little bit itchy, but you're just itchy from the hair growth, not from the cut itself.
Ear, and then the headphones slipped off my silky head.
So smooth. I mean, that's what it is. Yeah. So much like with other shavers we promote, this one is for your head. It's called Ghost Shaver. You literally get it on Amazon. And again, it's not priced out of control, but it's the last head shaver you're ever going to buy. It is. And no problems with it for a year or more now. Knock on wood. And I don't even have to do that because it is such a reliable product. So definitely check out Ghost Shaver. Go right to Amazon, put it right in your cart. You'll get it at least 2 days later. Because let's face it, who doesn't have Prime nowadays? So,
oh snap! There might be a fight tonight.
Yeah, Steven? What's up, bro?
Yeah,
Did you have a bad day? Like, what's wrong? I'm not even trying to come at the Mets right now, and you're trying to come for my throat here. I don't appreciate it. I take offense to it, bruh.
No, he doesn't.
I don't at all. Back to hated teams.
Right.
Most hated teams. So it was. Do you want me to unveil it or do you want to unveil it?
Go ahead.
The LA Dodgers. The most hated team in baseball. They got a vote.
Not really, Cork.
Yeah, I swear to God, A-Rod, I'm sitting here looking at it. The Los Angeles Dodgers. State by state breakdown. There is 9 states that hate the Dodgers. 8 states hate the Yankees, so Yankees come in number 2. And it's funny because if you look, and we'll post this online, if you look at the map for most hated states, everybody in Alaska hates the Dodgers. Alaska.
Why?
Alaska, like, do they even have internet in Alaska? How do you hate the Dodgers?
Yeah, they'd still dog sled out there. There's no way they're.
I was gonna say they pulled like 3 people.
Yes.
Everybody like in Louisiana, Alabama, and whatever's next to Alabama, like they all hate the Dodgers. Everybody in the Midwest, Nevada, and then that whole Dust Bowl over there, they hate the Dodgers. Like, it's crazy to me.
That's great.
All of California and the Northwest hates Houston, along with Oklahoma. Oklahoma really hates Houston. I mean, I don't know why. It's funny. The entire state of Texas hates the Yankees, along with everybody in the Northeast, except for the city of New York.
I was going to say, I know 2 people in Texas that don't hate the Yankees.
No, so, at least 2.
Yeah.
At least 2. Where else? Obviously, all of Pennsylvania hates the Mets. And the North Midwest hates Arizona.
Steve Waldman says $280 million payroll bought a championship? ?
Everybody buys a championship, Steve. We just have the money to spend more.
Everybody's got a price. Ha 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 ha.
So
Funny you would say that, Steve, because let's say your precious Mets would have won the World Series this year when you actually turned out to spend more money to try to win a championship. So would that still be your argument?
I appreciate that Steve's doing my job, right?
Yeah.
Like
I'm
this
just
is the
saying, where do you
divide.
draw the line, Steve? Is it just because it wasn't your team? You just started upping your spend, like you just started up your cap and spending and everything. And if you had won a championship, would you really be mad? No, you wouldn't. It doesn't matter how you get it. The fact is you get it. Like, I don't care how money gets into our network account.
What sucks
We just
is,
keep giving people shout outs and they keep
Right.
paying us.
and what sucks is like your biggest argument could be how excited Met fans were. Like I'm siding with you, Steve Cohen. Like we're like, we got money now. Holy shit.
I know you guys were
Like,
like, it's like
yeah.
getting extra money, finding extra money in like a pair of jeans that you just washed. You
It was
guys were
like winning the lottery. They
We're
were
not afraid to spend it. And that's good. That's how you win in every single sport. That's how you win, with the exception of hockey, because it's just such a crazy cap. And even then, Tampa Bay won and they were over cap.
2021 payroll, LA Dodgers at number 1, New York Yankees at number 2, and take a wild guess who was number 3.
Mets.
The New York Mets.
Yeah.
So, and I'm with you, Corey. I believe if your team is willing to spend money for players, there's a difference between just spending money on whoever and giving out bad contracts. But if you're spending it wisely and you have the money to do it, who cares? The Dodgers, the Yankees, and now the Mets have the richest owners in sports. I would expect if I was a fan of the Dodgers, who have the largest payroll in baseball, but they're frugal like the Tampa Bay Rays because they don't have a choice, I would be upset about that. We have all this money, spend it on players that are worth a damn.
Well, let's take this over to basketball. This argument that we're now getting away from our topic because Steven just had to say something. No, but let's get into basketball. Did anybody in Miami care when Bosch and LeBron and who else?
The Florida Marlins are an outlier, Steve. That's my rebuttal to you. I understand what you're trying to do here, but how long ago was that?
I can't even see.
Well, also like they won a championship, sold the team, got a ridiculous amount of prospects, and then sold the team again.
And now look at them.
Yeah,
they're the
so-
laughing stock. Derek Jeter, now it's looking okay, but for the first couple of years of Jeter's reign, it
You're
was
right.
awful.
They somehow, because of COVID, got into the playoffs last year. They're not going to get in the playoffs.
Well, and if you look at the Florida Marlins right now, there's like 5 fans in the stands, one of which is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So it
That was
really,
amazing.
there it is. Probably like the 4th or 5th best cereal out there. Not even a number 1, not even a top 3 cereal.
Oh, Jenny's going to murder you after this.
Does she really like Cinnamon Toast
Dude,
Crunch?
She loves Cinnamon Toast
Bro,
Crunch.
it's so gross.
All right, so
But we're not going to talk about cereal because Germ's in the house and he's got crazy
Yeah.
cereal views. We're not even going to get into it.
Logical cereal.
We're going to celebrate a little bit.
After 7 times I've run on field, everyone sing a song about popcorn.
So we're 1 year old. 1 year old. We talked about that, but people sent us gifts. We didn't plan this, but
Who sent us a gift?
J Mac Customs LLC on Instagram made us some custom stuff, and I'm telling you, if you're a Yankee fan or if you're a Met fan, and yeah, this is a surprise to Corey.
I was wondering where he was going.
This is what I mean. I'm just telling you, this is the Mecca. If you're a Met fan or
Holy
you're a Yankee
shit.
fan, you need to rep your team.
Dude, this is
with
legit.
this. Yes.
Look at the back of this.
Yeah.
Little
So-
skyline, New York. Hold on, let me make sure. There he is. A little New York skyline action.
I like mine better personally. I'll put it over his.
I'm good.
It's got the World's Fair, the globe from the World's Fair, the fountain. Dude, these are sick. These are amazing.
Dude, how did he get the finish like this? These
You're
are
right.
for
I
real,
mean, these
for
are
real.
custom cut. He cuts out the logo. He paints it. I don't know what else, but it's like a gloss finish. You could see the lights glimmering on this thing.
Bro, if we had a drill down here, I would be hanging this up. You would be just hearing no more talking. It would be sounds of me hanging this
Yeah,
up. J Mac Customs.
J Mac
J Mac
Customs.
MAC Customs at J Mac Customs on Instagram. Shout
I
out
wanna
to
bring
him.
this to the game, man.
Bro, I would love to, but this thing's
Yeah.
like 30 pounds. This is legit.
It's so legit.
We got to get like oversized chains and wear them like necklaces now.
No, man,
There
J
goes
Mac,
my head again.
what a job. What a surprise. Hey, happy birthday to us. These are
So
awesome.
cool.
So legit. This is now more pumped for the game. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I really hope they come. They're down 1-0 right now. The Yankees. I really hope they come
So-
back and win this.
Yeah, so we're gonna mount those right behind us. Jeremy and I will figure that out while we're doing, I don't know, the next 48 hours in the studio.
Oh my God, that's awesome. So shout out to J Mac Customs. Definitely check them out. We're gonna tag them, we'll post them, but that is legit. That's more legit than anything I would have ever imagined. So definitely check them out. Let's move on from the most hated teams in baseball. Because the Yankees were number 2, Dodgers were number 1, Houston was 3. What were the Mets? Mets were like number 8 on this list.
No, we're tied for 4th.
Oh, tied for 4. So you're not far behind us anyway.
Right. But the Phillies, only apparently one state hates them, which is bullshit. And I do feel like maybe a lot of the votes that the Yankees would have gotten and Mets would have gotten, the Phillies didn't get because
So I have a couple of questions, and don't laugh, world, because I'm not the best at geography. But what state is that?
that's PA.
No, not the.
Wait, what are you looking at?
This is PA that hates the Mets. Where who hates the Phillies?
That's is that Ohio?
No, Ohio hates the Cardinals. They're right next to. I know where
Oh.
Ohio is.
Jeez, I don't know either. What is that?
Is that Kentucky?
It is-
No, Kentucky's down here.
There's a state that hates them. We don't know.
Oh,
Well,
that's West Virginia.
okay. West Virginia.
Wait, hold on. Let me
Country
hold on,
mountain.
world. Let me Google West
And
Virginia real
that's
quick.
probably just a bunch of Pittsburgh people. It is West Virginia because JT was mad at me when I was in Pittsburgh because he's like, I'm 40 minutes away. I was like, I don't even know
that's
how
West
that's
Virginia.
possible. Yeah, he
What
lives.
a weird looking state, West Virginia. Can you? All right, here we go. Here's real West Virginia. Just give it up and join Virginia already. Like you made your point. Okay,
we're
we
not-
get it. You're separate. You can still be an individual and individualize and identify as West Virginia. But just for the sake of continuity with your lines, there, it looks like Virginia's taking a shit.
It's just like how like people think Kansas City, Missouri is in Kansas because it's such a shitty city. Like the only reason people love Kansas City is it's because it's Patrick Mahomes. But other than that, it's like we think you're in Kansas. Like,
yeah.
it's
What
weird.
else is there to do in Kansas? The last president we had thought Kansas City was in Kansas.
Yeah.
That's the leader of the former leader of the free world. That's how much we all care about Kansas City. If you're not in the Super Bowl, we don't even care enough to know where you are.
Why does Hawaii hate the Houston Astros?
I don't know, man. Like again, the same reason why Alaska. Like it's just so weird to me. Alaska. If they hated like different hockey teams, I might get it. But like, how do you hate the Dodgers if you're Alaska?
I don't know.
I'm not sure how the Mets ended up number 3 on this list.
Mhm.
It has to only be
Number 4.
Number 4.
3 is
Or
the Stros.
in the top 5 though, because outside of this year that started off promising, the Mets have been awful. So there's really no need to hate us.
No need to.
Right.
hate.
So
I
it
can
has to
see
be
hating for
geography.
someone that's winning because, but what's more crazy to me is people hate the Dodgers and the Yankees, and we'll associate that with years of winning. And I'm not trying to like be smart or anything because that's what it is. The Yankees spend money and they win, and that's why people hate them. But to have that much hatred towards a team over a team that legit cheated and won a World Series, like, and admitted to it, barely got punished, by the way.
Right.
And people are like, no, that's our 3rd most hated. We'll let the other 2 guys get number 1 and 2.
It's got to be geography, right? Like it has
Of course.
to be
Yeah, because
a New York team.
it's certain states that hate it over others.
Yeah,
That's
we got a spammer. Like maybe he's helping our ratings go up. I don't know. I keep seeing the ticker go up of people viewed, but yeah, quit spamming us, bro. Listen, I just thought of something. So the Mets are the 4th most hated team. Maybe it's because we travel so well. So this is Darren's fault. Did you think about that? We take over stadiums on top, including LA. So maybe that adds us to that, you know?
That type of behavior got the San Diego Chargers moved to LA.
That's true. That's true too.
Well, we're not moving.
No.
We're not effing leaving.
I'm not leaving. Oh man. So let's move from most hated baseball teams.
Sorry.
to most hated baseball
How
corresponders.
are they showing up in the?
I don't know.
in the
That was my
feed
fault.
now?
My bad.
That's hilarious, though. I love it. I
What are you
love
talking
it.
about? The people spamming?
Yeah, I love it. Keep
Whatever,
spamming,
man.
us.
Let it spam. Let's talk most hated hosts. All right, most hated hosts. We're talking about Smoltz, and Leiter refusing to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Now, here's the crazy thing, and I saw Biden just tweeted or something came out to where any employer that has more than 100 employees has to mandate vaccine or weekly testings or something like that. I think on the drive home it came on the radio, but.
Well, he's forcing federal.
Federal. So it's not all, just federal. Okay.
Federal.
So Smoltz and Leiter basically are refusing to get vaccinated, and Major League Baseball says, "Well, that's cool. You can't come back to work until you do."
Right.
Which, again, not to get political with anything, I'm vaccinated. I know you're vaccinated.
Right.
Germ, are you? Germ's vaccinated. But if you don't want to get vaccinated, all right, cool, man. You do you. I'm not one of those people that's like, well, you should because X, Y, and Z. You know, I did it for a reason. Mike probably did it for a completely different reason. Germ, same thing. So you do you. I'm not going to be one of those people say you do cause it, you don't cause it. I don't care. I don't care enough to ask. I don't care enough for whatever.
Also, who are you harming if you're not vaccinated? Yourself, right? Like, so
Mainly, yeah.
Because even if I get
allegedly,
it, yeah, apparently if I get it, it won't be as bad, right?
That's the report. So again, there's a lot of data that's still out there.
Well, so I don't know about that. One of our chiefs was vaccinated, and he was gone for 2 weeks and had to get transfusions. So
right, and then you hear those stories too, and then you always get the people that are like, "Well, imagine how much worse it would have been if they hadn't gotten." And you're like, "Dude, you just don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. So I'm not even arguing that. What I'm arguing is you're in a very competitive market to where someone can do the same job you do the same exact way, or in fact better. Because let's face it, no one's doing it worse than Smoltz or Leiter right now. So if you don't want to get vaccinated, that's fine, but someone's going to step up and take your job. So in that competitive type market, maybe, just maybe, you try to reach some sort of agreement, or you just comply and, get vaccinated, because nobody is missing you right now. Nobody's going to miss you. People are laughing at you, and you're just basically turning down, and whatever, stick to your convictions. If that's really how you feel and you want to stick to your guns, that's fine. You'll probably land a job somewhere else. But I constantly get, especially from these two, this like impression that they just don't think that they think they're irreplaceable.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And I just think that, Fox News Studios has this same requirement. You cannot come into the studio unless you're vaccinated. So, I mean, isn't that bizarre? That's weird, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just kind of the company's insurance policy on trying to keep things, crazy, these spammers or whatever, keep it coming. So
great.
Major League Baseball, please hear us. You have two guys that we don't know everything, but let's face it, neither do the other two.
Right. But
we're funny.
Your buddy Steve sent me some information about the NHL, and they just announced if any unvaccinated player contracts the COVID-19, they will not receive pay for each day they are sick. So they will be essentially suspended.
But the NFL has a similar thing. If you end up getting sick, then you don't get paid for the games you miss. You're going to see a lot of organizations adopt these policies or these like NFL, NHL, NBA. They're all going to adopt these types of policies because guess what? That's what every single job is doing. As a teacher, I either have to go for weekly testing or be vaccinated. And if for some reason I'm not doing the right thing, like let's say I get caught not wearing a mask and I contract COVID, they say, well, you weren't wearing a mask inside like we told you to. Now you have to use your sick days. And then when you run out of sick days for quarantining, guess what? You don't get paid.
Yeah.
So it's on almost every level at this point. And I don't feel bad for you because you're millionaires. That, and what we talked about, I'm talking too much, Mike, I'm sorry.
No,
but
you're good.
We talked about like a month or two ago when this was all coming, 2-3 months ago when it was coming out with the NFL. I still think it's hysterical that these athletes are so against this vaccine when I swear this is how the NFL works. You randomly walk into your trainer's office and you get shot up with whatever cocktail you need to get shot up with to go play a game to not feel any pain. And you don't ask any questions.
we were drafting players for the Fresh New Angle. Shout outs to the boys. From
Yes,
Fresh New
the
Angle.
draft actually just ended an hour ago. It was a 72-hour draft. more on that. More on that in a little bit.
But we were drafting players knowing that some of these injuries they're just gonna take a shot because you gotta give them a
You
shot.
got to give him a shot.
Give them a shot to do what?
Oh.
To play the game, Otis. And the fact is, like, we're like, oh, he's just gonna take some whatever and get on the field. So we drafted a few players knowing
Yeah.
that their injuries would be curbed by all these painkillers.
Yeah,
and
a little
whatever
cortisone cocktail mix.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So
So-
Major League Baseball, if you want two younger guys that will literally just be yes men, follow suit to whatever, because we don't mind getting paid a couple of million for a year to kind of just watch players play and announce. We'll break down film. It'll probably be completely wrong, but
Right.
hey, it's got to be better than the other two. Plus, we already got our Vax cards, baby. So, hit us up.
Right.
The thing is, and it kind of extends to the players, right? The MLB and NFL are private organizations. So as an employee, you kind of have to follow that or suffer the consequences. The
Right.
funny thing about the Smoltz and Leiter situation is that they were just at the Hall of Fame ceremony hosted by the MLB, and they were with a bunch of old guys who was the most susceptible group, and they were all walking around, shaking hands, licking each other's faces in close
Crazy.
proximity, and nobody said a word, but they can't sit on a controlled set where they're already spaced out. It's odd. I'd want to know what the real, like, I'd like to know some more information, because that's weird to me.
I think either two things. Either they're just trying to kind of push him out, which I don't think that's the case. There's easier ways to do that for the two of them, or it's just one of those policies to where they just adopt from the top all the way down, and
Yeah.
there's no exceptions. So
The players also got to stop saying this. It's my private decision. Lamar Jackson once again refused to disclose whether he's vaccinated or not.
well, that's true. It's illegal to ask. I just found this out.
So
Or not illegal, but you don't have
But
to
HIPAA
answer whether you are or not.
but HIPAA doesn't apply because it's not your personal thing, because it affects other people. And that's my point when it comes to these players who keep Cole Beasley, my Buffalo Bills, as the prominent example. You're entitled to your own opinion about it, but what you do affects your teammates and affects the game. So if it's not a disease, a respiratory infection as aggressive as this one, where you can just get it and then be on your way and take some Theraflu and be fine, cool. But this is an aggressive respiratory infection that has devastating effects on some people. And your choice not to at least take precautions to help everybody is affecting your team. Never mind the fact, and as a military member, I appreciate this. You work for a private company, buddy. Actually, you don't have a choice. You know what I mean? It's like if they wanted to make you do it, and they're not forcing people to do it outright because it's a bad look, and it's not the military, so they have to have that type of public relations. But NFL, if they really wanted to, they could make all the players do it. And if you don't want to do it, guess what? You don't play.
Yeah. Here's the unemployment line. And by doing that you're making them make a choice. And a part of me doesn't agree with it if you really, agree that strongly about something. But like you said, like it's fine if it's a personal choice. You don't have to answer whether or not you are vaccinated. You can say that's just a personal matter. I'm not going to confirm or deny whatever. But let's face it, anybody that gets asked that question and won't reveal it, they're not.
Lamar Jackson is absolutely not vaccinated.
No. Yeah.
But and listen, on the other side of life, some people just need some more research, right? Some people just need a few more months, weeks, whatever it's going to take until whatever. And like most things in life, a lot of people don't care unless something hits the home. So unless they get it and actually get a bad case, or they know someone that got a bad case that wasn't vaccinated, or vice versa, then maybe that'll change their mind. But until then, we just got Bowman Powers to be the new Smoltz and Leiter here.
Yeah,
You
guys can do it.
You know what got a bad rep and a bad case? McDonald's ice cream machines.
Oh, dude, remember, I think all through the pandemic, that was some of the unhappy meals. That was some of the memes that would keep us like the ice cream
Right.
machine ones.
That guy that was punching the guy, right?
The football one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a McDonald's ice cream machine and he's running away. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, why McDonald's? And this is the tale as old as time. This is the age-old question. It just will not be answered. It's like pi 3.14. It just keeps going on and on and on with no definitive end. Why don't your ice cream machines work?
Right. When there's other companies that have them in trucks and, the actual like Dairy Queen, I don't want to give a free plug, but Dairy Queen's delicious. And if, who's the guy who owns it? Warren Buffett wants to like take over this pod.
Oh, that's right. Warren Buffett does own Dairy
because he was
Queen.
like, I like Dairy Queen. I'm going to buy it.
He's like, yeah, I like
Yeah.
ice cream. I'm just going to buy
Yeah.
Dairy Queen. He's like, I
It's
like
like-
drinking Coke. I'm just going to buy Coca-Cola or Pepsi or
So-
both. I think he might not even own both. I don't know.
My theory behind this was always the employees didn't want to clean the machine, so they would just tell you it was broken.
How much cleaning is involved
I have-
in
bro? I've never served.
I
ice
am
cream.
not degrading anybody with a job, but you work at McDonald's. You're not a surgeon. Clean the machine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But
it's-
I always thought I took it as a cop out. Like every time I've ordered ice cream and they told
Yeah.
me the machine was broken, I took it as an employee didn't want to do his job.
I knew a manager at McDonald's, and they said basically, because if you've noticed, if you ever ordered inside and kind of waited, you see that timer that's above where they collect the food. They get graded on stuff like that, and the ice cream takes too long. So if they're too busy, they just tell people it's broken, because then they don't want to make somebody wait and back up the line, because they try to get everybody in and out from the time they order to the time they pick up their food in under 60 seconds.
Should we do, while you're here, like an inside edition type thing where we go to
McDonald's and try to
interview-
interview
inside edition?
Oh my God, that'd be great.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it. They a direct quote from somebody at the FTC, which is hilarious, is McDonald's has to have the most unreliable ice cream machines in history. I am beginning to wonder if this McDonald's even has an ice cream machine. Because I guess he keeps going.
When
That's
the
probably how
Federal
it started.
Trade
yeah.
Commission is
Yeah.
really digging into whether or not your ice cream machine shit is really whatever it is. That's how you know it's gone too far, McDonald's. All right, fix it. Now, what's crazy to me is I don't know if it's still like this, because McDonald's changed its image like 10 years ago after all the complaints about being unhealthy and shit, or
They're
more than that,
still
15 years
unhealthy.
ago. But correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the McDonald's ice cream machine and milkshakes, it's not real milk, right? Isn't it like
It's
a
like
powder
a
that they
powder.
mix and freeze? And
Agreed. Yeah.
so what's the issue?
Well, I think the milkshakes are that, but I do believe the McFlurry, and that's the basis of the investigation. They didn't say milkshakes; they said the McFlurry machines. So I think
Oh,
it's the
snap.
McFlurry that's the problem. But
It's not the same machine for
I
both.
don't know. But
Well, that would make sense if the milkshakes weren't real
Yeah.
milk.
We are
Yeah.
gonna bust into every
we're gonna find out.
McDonald's
We'll get
and
to the bottom of this for you guys.
Inside edition.
First, we'll order a vanilla ice cream cone, and then be like, why can't we get it?
Where, Steve? Listen, Steve. I don't know when you left this comment.
No, it was a couple minutes ago.
Okay.
He said players union will fight it, not consider that it's in their
NHL.
contract. I know it's their living, I guess he's trying to say, but they're playing with their lives that they're playing with, but they better take it.
Yeah, and you're right. And let's be honest, the player unions are not as strong as they think they are. They're not, especially when you can get together and you can try to negotiate for higher salaries and better healthcare and all that other stuff. But if it's this way or the highway, the strongest union's not going to be like, you can't do that. Like Germ said, it's a private organization. So
who cares?
yeah, it's their livelihood. And will it eventually get to that? Hopefully not, but I guess we're going to see. Anyway, back to it. When was the last time?
Back to school. Can I talk about this real quick?
Yeah.
So my daughter's officially in school, kindergarten.
Oh my
Yay.
God, that's got to
We-
feel good for
I feel so good for
you
my mental
having-
health.
Yeah, exactly.
Only because like she didn't get preschool. There was a lot of situations where I was her only friend during this whole COVID thing, and her mom, obviously, and her mom took the brunt of it, being home all day long with her. But now 8 hours a day, the government gets to watch my child.
I like this move. I do.
I love this move until yesterday. The bus was over an hour late. And I get that, but I'm a new dad. This is my first kid, my only kid that's in school. So the bus was late. That's apparently very normal for the first few weeks in school because obviously
Overrated.
the kids don't know where they're going and the buses take longer. So that was fine. But the lady at the bus stop, who is not a mom, she was an aunt who was there, 40 to 50 minutes into the bus not being there, decided to tell me and my wife that 8 years ago, there was a tragic bus accident in the town we live in where the bus was turned over onto somebody's yard. Children were all over the yard. One sadly perished, and a lot were critically injured to the point where they're still critically injured to this day, 8 years later. Not the time to tell me this story.
So hold on. Let me set the scene for everybody listening and for
Right.
myself, just to make sure I got this right.
Mhm.
Peyton's first day of school.
First day of school.
First time on a bus.
First time on a
First
bus.
time sending your child on a bus to go away and
Anywhere.
then to come back.
Anywhere.
Right,
yeah.
right. It's not like you're shipping her in and out of the
Right.
city during
We
the
didn't-
week to
we
the
didn't get-
Diamond District and
we-
really just having her pick up the good stuff.
We didn't get preschool. We didn't get any
So first time on a bus, you're waiting for her. You dropped her off at the bus stop or whatever, and then you're waiting for her at the end of the driveway. That's where it picks you up.
of that. And
or the corner.
a neighbor's driveway.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're waiting there. 20 minutes goes by, no Peyton.
Mhm.
30 minutes, nothing.
No.
40 minutes. Finally, like between 40 and 50 minutes, you
Panic.
guys are kind of getting frustrated. Like, all right, where's my kid?
Right.
And this lady who doesn't even have a child, is just waiting for a child because she's watching her niece, nephew, whoever, decides to volunteer information to you that, hey, don't be worried, but the last time this happened, there was an accident with kids. One died and everybody else got hurt.
It was awful. We looked up the article. It's all factual.
Why would you look up the article?
Because we're like, maybe she's just look it was. I don't know. 'Cause
oh
I
my God.
I researched it after. and
Why?
I don't know.
That falls with like the comments of like when you're
When somebody tells you something you don't believe, you look it up.
well, I
regardless
agree
of-
with that, but like the comment, this is like that type of comment that doesn't add anything. It doesn't make you feel better. In fact, it makes you feel worse.
Yeah, no, and there was.
It's like when you're like at the grocery store and there's like 2 lines open and a long line, and someone's like, "Yeah, I was here the other day and there was 4 lines open," and you're like, "Bro, this doesn't help at all. This is nothing to do with anything." Like, what was she thinking? Was she? Well, obviously she wasn't. I answered your question.
I don't know, but the more and more I play it in her defense, the more and more I play it like back in my head, maybe she was on the spectrum a little bit, like as a special ed teacher and somebody who studied special ed. I'm not an active teacher, but playing it back in my head and taking my own because I wasn't listening to what she was saying prior to that, but now like I'm absorbing everything she was saying. Like she was telling us she's obsessed with music and she's a music head. People like me and Ryan Seacrest are considered music heads. That's what we call each other.
Yeah, look,
Like,
Mike, there's a reason why this lady's an aunt and not a mom. Let's
I
be
get
real.
that,
Enough.
yeah.
Enough being nice. Okay. This
Okay.
lady's nuts.
No, it's not.
I'm not going to ask you her
yeah.
name, but
Right.
she lived like
Just point the house she lives at.
just
So-
point that. Hey, stay away from if you know an aunt in Chesterfield, New Jersey, stay away from her. She's crazy.
I here's the thing, like, all right, so maybe she could have been, on which is whatever, but I just you just gotta stop talking to people, bro. You just gotta stop being friendly. And this,
Agreed.
how long after she told you this horrific story did your daughter show up?
8 minutes, but also it
8 minutes, but we weren't counting. Just 8 minutes.
Yeah, it triggered us.
That's
to
an odd number
call.
to pick.
Yo,
8 minutes.
precisely. It was 8 minutes. I promise you, it was 8 minutes.
How far are you away? I'm approximately. I'm exactly
Yeah.
8 minutes out.
Well, that's like my
You got
boss.
low jack on your kid. Like, oh no, she'll be here in 8
My
minutes.
boss makes fun of me because, like, when somebody asks me like how far I'm from work, and I work in Philly,
You
I-
want this in miles or
I-
kilometers?
I
What do
say
you?
I say 58 minutes. He's like, like a sane person would just say an hour. I was like,
Or-
yeah,
Or be like just
but-
under an hour.
yeah,
Just
all
under
right,
an hour.
right? Yeah, no more bus stop banter. This is I
no,
will-
let's keep going. Hold on a second. We have to.
Jerm
really
and I were
dissect
talking
this.
about this earlier because he's like, plus it's like you said, it's very close to the end of my driveway. It's across the street.
Mhm.
So like he's like, just start driving her to the bus stop.
Driver
Bro,
literally
so
across the street.
So no joke, when we were kids, there would be these bougie ass parents that didn't want their kids to wait in the rain, and the bus stop was 2 houses down. They would legit get in the car, back the shit up 2 houses down, and sit in the car until the bus came.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, all right, you're 2 houses down, kids. Why don't you watch out the front door, and when you see the bus, run your ass off to get on it?
Also, I want to talk about the guy that's spamming us right now because two things. Like, you obviously picked the wrong show, but
Or the right show.
right, we're flattered. We're flattered. This happened to us once during a happy hour where we had an open forum for through Zoom, and
Yeah.
people were clicking, and this one guy just took over.
Yeah,
And it was-
I met a lot of hot singles in my area that night. It was. I tell you, you're welcome back anytime.
But also, like, whatever, dude. You're commenting. Maybe we're popping up. Like, I see the ratings going a little bit higher every second now. So I think your comments are helping us. So we
Appreciate it.
appreciate you.
Keep on keeping on.
I'm gonna keep
And
deleting them though. Don't worry about it, but
you-
keep posting them.
You know what the gift that keeps on giving, and what I learned to appreciate this summer above any other summer,
Right.
is this was the first summer where I had Smooth My Balls.
Mm.
And it was, I got to tell you, I will continue to promote the hell out of this. Guys, my older brother bought one, loves it. I have one, absolutely enjoy it. It has no nick technology, will not nip your sack ever again. Use Smooth My Balls, stay nice and groomed. I know the winter's coming up. No Shave November is almost here, a couple months away. Let me tell you something. That only applies up here, fellas and ladies. All right. No Shave November only applies for the stuff that you can see for most of the day, every day. So check out smoothmyballs.com. Again, this is the last personal shaver you will ever buy. Smoothmyballs.com, promo code DIVIDE, or smoothmyballs.com/divide. The link is in our bio. Check them out. I'm telling you, I've been saying it all summer. I won't stop saying it. It's one of the best personal shavers. I've had mine for a little over 4 months now. Zero problems, zero issues. Still going strong. Haven't even had to charge it yet, which is perfect. So, guys, I'm telling you, never buy another personal shaver again. No nick technology. You gotta go to smoothmyballs.com.
Your analogy of like holding it to your balls like a gunman would hold a gun to your head.
Or as a
Now-
knife to a throat.
Yeah, now if I'm ever put in that situation, I'm thinking about your balls. So I appreciate it.
That's why I'm here.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm here. So let's.
Like, what was Mike's last thought after the madman killed him? Corey would be like, I know.
Don't touch me with your balls. No. So hey, listen. Last thing on baseball. Last night was a very emotional night. The captain, Derek Jeter's Hall of Fame induction. Great speech. A lot of it was done all outside. He waited 20 months to do this. The MLB had to figure this out, obviously, with COVID. It was everything we expected and more. Very, very classy speech, class act. Thanked a lot of people. A lot of awesome people were in the house to witness that. And we've been to Hall of Fame games before for the
Right.
NFL, where obviously Dion's there, Dan Marino's there. The one year where there, Usher was there.
Yeah.
Along with some other celebrities that had nothing to do with football. But you had like Patrick Ewing was there last night. Michael Jordan was there last night. All the baseball greats, Cal Ripken, Dave Winfield. I think Bernie was there last night.
Bernie was there.
All of his old teammates. It was really
His nephew from the meme, from the hat meme. I didn't even notice that was him.
Yeah.
Snap.
He's like, looks like a whole new person.
Well, it was what, 2014?
14,
That his
14,
last game was, and that all happened.
Respect.
So
14, 15.
I mean,
Michael
that
Jordan was there. Did
7.
we say him?
I think I said Michael. I see. Yeah, Patrick
Yeah.
Ewing, Michael Jordan.
Yeah, you did.
His parents look great. They have to be in their 70s.
I know.
His
Yeah.
dad looks like he hasn't aged in
Derek
20
Jeter
years.
looks great. He looks like he could play baseball tomorrow. Like,
I wish.
yeah.
Derek Jeter's family made an appearance. I had no idea he was married with kids.
You said
Yeah.
he got a son.
Well, he was. He was married to baseball until he retired from baseball, and now you know.
I mean,
mean,
when you run the Marlins, it's like a part-time job.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like-
now he gets unlimited cinnamon
Cinnamon
toast
Toast
crunch now. Yeah, that's
Ridiculous.
that's
He
why
had
he was there.
396 out of 397 Hall of Fame votes. Fuck you, voter.
And he pretty much said that. He
yeah.
said thank you to all the writers except for one.
Yeah.
Which was
96 Rookie of the Year, 5-time World Series champion, 5-time Gold Glove winner, 5-time Silver Slugger, and World Series MVP in 2000.
4 of those World Series
Holy.
came in 5 years.
Crazy.
It's the first 5 years of his career, really.
My favorite quote of his whole speech was when he said, "I had a goal of winning more than anybody else." and I achieved that goal.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool because that's Jeter in a nutshell. Like and we had Todd last week on the show. He's a motivator. Jeter was a extreme motivator, and it just shows what that type of leader can do. And as much as Lindor's having a bad year for the Mets, like I see that in him as well. So
Well, and in a way, he kind of told Jeter told everybody, why he carried himself the way he did, because he's the guy that stayed out of trouble. He always stayed positive. He never really, he was never negative towards the press or, placed the blame on anybody. He took a lot of the weight on his shoulders. And he said, I did this for the baseball greats, the Hank Aaron's, Jackie Robinsons, and everybody that paved the way. And he wanted to make everybody Hall of Fame living. And Dad just proud of the way, not the way he played, but the way he carried himself throughout. So very emotional. Super happy to see and hear from him again. I was lucky enough to be at his last game as a Yankee where he had that walk off, that script. It said it was amazing. Then I'll watch replays and still get chills. So hats off to the captain. Great induction ceremony. Just a good way to to enter eternity as this baseball great.
My last Jeter moment was with you. We went to this game, and we have the pendant.
It
right
is
behind you.
It is.
So
yep,
that was that was a week before his last game. We got the tickets, and I was on the jumbotron holding that stupid
I know
thing.
the one Met fan that walked in. They had like the camera in our face, and
I was so sarcastic.
we were like, they're not going to play that on the big screen, and it's like the 6th or 5th winning.
I had a bruise. You were hitting me so hard because I wasn't looking.
No, you were looking at your phone. I'm like,
bro,
the
fucking screen.
It was like, and you would think he was like, and Mike knew the camera was there, but he was like, oh, thank you so much. It was good times.
It was great.
We went to a lot of games that summer.
We did.
It was a good year,
and we're gonna go to a lot of postseason games.
Listen, great for Derek Jeter, great baseball player, whatever. Shout out to his greatest victories: Jessica Biel,
yes,
Jessica Alba, Scarlett Johansson,
Minka Kelly,
Adrian Lemus, all of them.
We talked about this. I might have been a year ago. It might have been our first or second show.
Yes.
Comparing his
to
total to A-Rod's total.
Right.
And I completely different tastes for both of them.
Way off.
Where Jeter, he was there for a lot of the prime. And A-Rod, because A-Rod was like Madonna, Cameron Diaz,
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, it was.
He had Mariah Carey. He had
Jeter did. Oh yeah,
Vanessa Lachey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a lot.
He has a excellent resume. Yeah. Excellent resume.
Hall of Fame resume.
Yes, of course. 100%. One would say,
do we put him in our Hall of Fame?
That's it.
Do we?
We need a Hall of Fame.
We need a Hall of Fame.
We need a Hall of Fame. And it's not just going to be for baseball players and models and stuff like that. It can be for, women that play professional sports that have a good resume as well.
In this Hall of Fame, Derek Jeter, if you ever want to come on the show and talk about it, you are unanimous, sir.
Yeah, we'll put you with the shadow face, and we'll change your voice and everything. So the harmonizer, we'll make sure that you remain completely anonymous. So you don't have to worry about any of that.
Well, real quick, Corey, because as a Mets fan, I put a question on the bottom here. After Jeter, who's the next Yankee Hall of Famer?
Hopefully, Judge. I'm sorry.
But it's too young. I say nobody right now.
Okay.
Nobody.
So this is my scary thing. Like Pete Alonso hit 100 home runs, and he's the second fastest player to ever do it, right? But the other fastest, the first fastest was Ryan Howard. And there's multiple issues with this, right? Ryan Howard got injured, and it was terrible. But also Ryan Howard was left in Lakewood for way too long because the Phillies just signed Jim Thome. So he lost a lot of the years that Pete is actually getting. So I do believe that the next Hall of Fame Met, if he stays with us forever, could be Pete Alonso, obviously DeGrom too. But, I was just thinking about that the other day. So with you guys, I mean, it's hard to say. You could argue, one could argue Chapman.
Would you throw CC Sabathia in there? because he's the only one that came to mind.
I would the same way I would Keith Hernandez. So I think it's going to happen eventually, but I think somebody else.
And we're throwing A-Rod, right? Because we know he's probably not going to get in.
He won't get it.
It sucks.
He won't.
But he should. Are we agreeing with that? He
Yeah,
should be
just
in
like
there?
Pete Rose.
Yeah, I mean, the man hit what, over 600 home runs.
Yeah,
and-
are the Yankees taking down the championship banner that A-Rod won them? No.
No.
So A-Rod should get in there. Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
arguably a top 3 player of all time. I'll go
Right.
ahead and say
I
it.
mean, I would argue that Matsui was more important than A-Rod during that series, but that's just me.
That's fine.
Shout out to Godzilla,
You gotta
Hideki
get there.
Matsui,
Yeah.
man.
But
Uh,
hey, it's okay. I'm nothing against A-Rod. I definitely think that he has his place in Cooperstown. But you bring up a good point about CeCe though.
Yeah, CC's a great. I mean, he's a great guy. He did say on record, and I will play it on another podcast, and I want to give him credit because he's actually a really good dude. So I'll get to that.
What did he say?
Where's my guy?
He's trying to pull it up.
What did he say?
Yeah, hold on.
What did he say?
So what CC said was that the Met fan base was the stronger fan base than the Yankees.
I'm
Like, those
rethinking
fans-
this whole CC Hall of Fame situation.
So he's on Jeff Nelson's podcast, who's a former Yankee pitcher, but I do believe he is a Met fan. And CC was on there.
CC grew up in California. How the fuck is he a Met fan?
No, CC's not a Met fan.
Oh,
Jeff Nelson is.
Oh,
And he-
okay. yes, I
so-
know. Yeah.
So yeah, so he had CC on a
well,
couple.
Jeff played for the Mets, didn't he?
Not that I know of.
I
I
thought he
thought he was
did.
just a Yankee. I know he played Marlins. I think I don't know. I don't want to mess up his old. But we've been talking back and forth. But yeah, you just had CC on, and CC just credits the Met fan base like nobody else has ever done.
Mm.
Like if you're that passionate and you've been through all that turmoil and gotten your heart broken, like you're a real fan. Like that's to him, real fans are made in
He's
Queens.
not wrong, but I do
Right.
think that there's other franchises in Major League Baseball that have gone through a similar situation as the Mets.
I think CC Sabathia.
Yankee fan, we win all the time. It's super easy to go to Yankee Stadium because we win. If you're a Met fan, you're a real fan. Because
That's CC Sabathia on Jeff Nelson's pod.
For CC Sabathia's problem is time.
Uh-huh.
So at the height of his powers, it just didn't last as long as somebody like Roy Halladay, who compared to other Hall of
Same thing with
Famers,
Ryan Howard. Yeah,
Right,
you could argue
just-
that.
even at the height of their greatness, it just didn't last long. So it kind of gets,
Well, one can
First-
also argue too that this is where, and this is the only time you're going to hear me say this, this is where not having pitchers hit in the American League, this is where using the DH might hurt, because if you remember in the NL, CC was a beast. Not only was he a great pitcher, but he'd also fucking hit dingers.
Yeah.
And he
Mhm.
wasn't too bad at batting either. And it's one of the things he was really proud of. So had he stayed in the National League, he would have bumped those hitting averages up a little bit and on base percentage, and it may have made a better argument if he continued to pitch the way he did and had offensive numbers, then that would have made a little bit of a better argument, don't you think?
The most remarkable thing about CC Sabathia is how he looks now after he's done playing the
Oh,
game.
of course. Well, he used to eat a whole box of cereal before he'd
Right.
go out and pitch for
Yeah,
the night. I mean,
and he's definitely shooting like horse steroids in his eyeballs. now.
well, you know what it is he quit drinking too, and that kind of
That would do it. Yeah.
that'll do it.
as I take
I'll
a
do
sip
it.
of this Bud Light Seltzer.
All right. So hey, listen, let's kind of start to wrap this up a little bit because football is on in the next couple of minutes. So let's talk about football real quick before we kind of leave you guys to go watch Thursday Night Football. It is Dallas versus the Bucks. Predictions. You got Tom Brady versus a now somewhat healthy. Jerm just told me when I walked through the door, he was caught saying in a pregame interview that he can't feel his toes.
Yeah.
Dak said. So I
The
hope he
spread
can
is
feel it.
-8. Tampa
Dude,
negative
we
8.
got
So,
Dak
Of
in our
course,
freshman
Tampa's
rank.
given 8, but is it in Dallas or is it in Tampa?
I think it's in Tampa.
All right, so if it's the home team always gets a 3-point advantage. So when you think about it, if they're only given 8, then that means that they're only a 5-point favorite.
Based on what we saw from the Cowboys last year, there's no
Oh, they're
way-
underway right now.
Yeah, there's no way Tom Brady's losing to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And as a Giant fan, I will be rooting for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win. And as a Thai fan, I will be rooting Taishan, not Thai. I love Thai food actually, so I am a Thai fan. All
Hey,
around.
not to get off topic,
Yeah.
but I just had Thai food for like the first time in my
Right.
life like
Really?
a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the comedy show in Red Bank, and there was a Thai place around the corner, and everybody, like Bert's been saying, like, you were gonna love Thai, bro. It was amazing.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
Chinese food on steroids.
It is. It is. It's
Yeah,
great.
Thai food surprisingly
do
not
it right.
terrible. Not terrible.
Thailand
Thailand the country.
Never been.
I do. Speaking of
Don't go.
food, can I mention one thing? And
It's our podcast, man.
Yeah,
You
right.
can mention whatever the fuck you want.
I asked for permission, before I
I
insert
thought you were gonna say
certain
forgiveness.
things.
Forget-
I'll get forgiveness. It's
but,
permission by asking
Yeah.
forgiveness.
yo, when Todd told us that story about him saving somebody's life that was choking on food, imagine that guy hearing that story. I would just off myself. I'd rather, if I was that guy that Todd saved, just let me die. Just let me die.
Do you think that's that dude's purse? Any dude that almost chokes on food and then sits back down to start eating some more during that same meal is not going to have that attitude that you have. They're going to be like proud of it. Like, yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
And I kept on going. Like,
He
that's,
said it was the
he
size
perseveres.
of a cell phone.
It may have been. It may have been.
Whoever's doing that, whoever like is about to die and has to be like Heimlich and then goes back to eating is a psychopath.
They're not scared of
Right,
anything.
That's what I mean.
They're
it's
not
just like
They're either they got a big influence or they're not scared of the afterlife. One or the other.
no, but shout outs to Todd. Go listen to this episode and that episode. He's our buddy. We're so happy to have him. He signed an awesome picture of ours. And
Yeah. Fantasy season underway. Good luck to all you fantasy heads. Hopefully your draft was a little bit shorter than the Fresh New Angle draft. But Mike and I, hey, Chucky, if you're listening, Fresh New Angle and your entire team, Mike and I,
Right.
we have the best team assembled.
There
All right,
was
so-
a wedding that could have taken place from start to finish.
So listen, and you know what? And kudos to Chucky for keeping it moving because the CBS app actually like
Yes.
had a problem that went down. But good Lord, man, like we did it from remotely. We should have been there. I feel like it would have been.
it was my fault. I was working.
Yeah, you ended up working
Yeah.
late. Whatever. It is what it is. Either way, though, man, it was. I swear to God, that was the longest draft I've ever taken part of. But that's
Right.
fine because we're taking it.
We're
Chucky.
taking it.
We're taking it.
It's ours.
You'll see.
We have a lot of questions, but we're taking it.
Yeah, we're whatever. We're taking it.
Taking it.
Taking it.
Lead from the New York Yankees, the shortstop,
all together.
number 2, Derek Jeter. Number 2.